What is up, my crime-crazy people? Welcome to Veil of Humanity, where we explore the thin line between conscience, fragility, and accountability. We are your hosts, Melonie, Yelvington.
And Kimberly Taylor. Today's trigger warnings are going to be extreme child abuse.
Oh, and today's story is one of the most haunting examples of child abuse or of abuse and survival in modern America. This is the story of the Turpin family, 13 children trapped for years in the House of Horrors in Perris, California. What looked like a loving, religious family on the outside was a horrible nightmare behind the veil.
So grab your favorite beverage and a pillow to scream into as we take a look into a very shocking case.
And just so you know, we are a fan of the cursey words and will probably be using them.
Sorry, Courtney.
Yeah. Not really, but...
Not really.
Yeah.
Okay, Biss. Are you ready?
Always ready.
As we reflect on the Turpin family's story, it's impossible not to ask, how could this happen? How could an entire neighborhood, a school district, and a society overlook the suffering of 13 children? The answers aren't simple, but what we can take from this case is the power of one voice, Jordan's voice, that shattered years of silence and saved her siblings' lives. In every dark story, there's a light, and in this one, it's the resilience of the children who are learning to live, laugh, and love for the first time. So let's start at the beginning. David and Louise Turpin looked like the perfect couple. They met when Louise was still in high school in Princeton, West Virginia. By all accounts, David was quiet and intelligent, a computer engineer who worked for major defense contractors. Louise was described as bubbly, pretty, and deeply religious. They married in 1985 when Louise was just 16 years old. From the outside, it seemed like a young couple chasing the American dream. Over the years, they had child after child, eventually 13 in total. Ooh, that's a lot of babies.
That is a lot of babies.
Photos later found on social media painted a wholesome image, matching outfits, big family smiles, trips to Disneyland. You know that was expensive, even back in the day.
Yeah.
And even vow renewals in Las Vegas, officiated by an Elvis impersonator. But behind those carefully curated snapshots, something deeply sinister was happening. I can't imagine.
Me either. This is horrible.
It's a horrible, horrible case. So by 2018, the Turpin family lived in Perris, California, a quiet suburban neighborhood where neighbors described them as reclusive and strange. The children rarely came outside. When they did, they were pale, thin, and seemed much younger than their actual ages. But inside that home, it was a scene of unimaginable neglect. The house reeked of human waste. Garbage piled up everywhere. The children were starved, beaten, and chained to their beds for weeks, sometimes months at a time.
So horrible.
They were only allowed to bathe once a year.
Golly.
Their parents rationed food, allowing only a few bites at a time, while David and Louise ate fast food and kept desserts locked away. I'm sorry, but you are a selfish, and I already warned y'all, but they are selfish fucking parents.
Yeah.
For you to do this, you should not have kids.
No.
And there are people out there.
13 of them.
You can have 13 people out there who are struggling to have babies, and you. What?
Yep.
And you're gonna sit there on your ass and eat fast food while these babies get nothing? No. They were homeschooled, at least on paper. In reality, they received almost no education. Some of the older kids didn't even know what medicine was.
Yep. I remember that.
David and Louise claim they were raising their children according to their faith, but their form of control was nothing short of psychological torture. And again, that's where the hardcore religious gets into it. You know, like we talked about with Andrea Yates. There is nothing wrong with religion. There is nothing wrong with believing, but there is a point, and this is a point where it gets to.
Yeah, that you don't do it off onto other people.
Exactly. The family's youngest child was 2 years old when the case broke. The oldest, a 29-year-old woman who weighed just 82 pounds.
Wow.
The nightmare began to unravel in the early mornings hours of January 14th, 2018. One of the daughters, 17-year-old Jordan Turpin, had been secretly planning an escape for 2 years.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
2 years to escape that hell.
Mm.
Using a deactivated cell phone she'd found in the house, she managed to get a signal and dialed 911. So let's take a listen to that call.
911 emergency, what are you reporting?
Hello?
This is 911, do you have an emergency?
I just ran away from home because I live in a family of 15, okay? Can you hear me? And we have abusing Perris. Did you hear that?
Okay, how did they abuse you?
Okay. They hit us, they like to throw us across the room. They pull our hair, they yank out our hair. I have my two little sisters right now are chained up.
Okay, how old are you?
I'm 17.
What's your name?
Turpin.
When deputies arrived, Jordan was trembling. She had never been outside alone before. I just want that to sink in really quick. She was 17 and never been outside that house alone before. She showed them photos of her chained siblings as proof. Police immediately went into the house, and what they found shocked the world. Officers entered the Turpin home and were met with a foul stench so overwhelming that some had to step outside to breathe. Inside, they found several children shackled to their beds with heavy chains. Others were thin, filthy, and terrified. One officer described it as a scene straight out of a horror movie. All 13 children were taken into protective custody. David and Louise Turpin were arrested on the spot.
Have you ever seen the body cam to the police showing up and knocking on their door at 7 a.m. and they're like, what do you mean? We have a kid missing from our house?
Yeah.
The mother's face and the dad's face, both of them, they look like in total
shock,
disbelief that they were at their door right now. Like, what is happening?
Same thing with the Ruby case.
Yeah, Ruby.
That mom was very, very shocked too, to knew that she had a missing child. As investigators pieced together the timeline, they learned the abuse had gone on for decades. Not just years, decades. It wasn't just physical, it was emotional, psychological, and systemic. The parents used starvation, isolation, and fear as tools of control. When the children stole food out of desperation, they were beaten or chained for weeks. Neighbors had noticed strange things, but no one intervened. But that's kind of normal, though. You just kind of turn a blind eye. We've gotten so used to society that a lot of us, instead of the see something, say something method, a lot of us just see something and turn the other way. So the Turpins kept to themselves because they were registered as a private school, but no authorities had checked inside the home for years.
That's the first failure right there.
Yep.
Among many, I'm sure.
Oh, there's so many. David and Louise Turpin were each charged with multiple counts of torture, false imprisonment, and child abuse. In 2019, they both pleaded guilty to 14 felony counts. They were sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 25 years. I don't even think they should get that.
I don't either. What are you going to do when you get out?
Yeah, you trying to get those kids? No.
Nope.
You need to stay right where you are. During the sentencing, some of the children spoke publicly for the very first time. Their words were heartbreaking, yet filled with strength. One of them said, "My parents took my whole life from me, but now I'm taking it back."
Aww.
That's
so sad.
That is heartbreaking. After the rescue, the Turpin siblings faced a new challenge: life in a real world. They had to learn everything from using money to crossing streets to even a social interaction.
Right.
Things that we take for granted every single day. It's nothing for us to be able to go to the store even though I don't want to, or call my best friend. That's a normal interaction.
Yeah.
And for them to have to learn how to do all this.
When that girl's never even been outside.
No.
Alone at 17. And you've got nearly a 30-year-old in there.
Yeah.
That should be on her own, living her life.
Yep.
Not being trapped and tortured by her parents.
No. That you should, 17, you're preparing to graduate high school or graduating high school. You're learning to go off in the world, start college, get in a relationship, do something,
Yeah.
At 17, I was doing hood rat stuff, but that's another story.
Yeah.
At first, there was an outpouring of public sympathy. The community donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to help the children rebuild their lives. But, shockingly, a later investigation revealed that some of those funds were mismanaged. And the Turpin children struggled to access the money intended for them.
Huh.
You've got
That's putting it probably the nice way, as to say someone was stealing the money.
Yeah.
From them.
God,
oh my gosh.
Shitty people.
Gross.
2021, ABC 2020 did a huge special. I highly recommend watching it. It's great. They revealed that some of the children had ended up in unsafe foster homes, facing new forms of abuse and neglect.
That's one thing that I did hear about this case over the years. To be rescued from one nightmare and thrown into another nightmare house.
Yeah. I can't imagine.
No. Like, for them to go from one... I'm relieved that we have been saved and rescued. But now I'm going to go to this new person's house that I don't even know at all. And they're going to be abusive to me too.
Which is scary, just going into a new home.
Yeah.
To begin
you
with.
already don't feel like you have a place in this world.
Yeah, and you're not trusting. And then to get thrown into somebody else who's abusive and mean to you. Those poor babies. And I say that because even at 17, they're still a baby.
Yeah, they are. Even at 30.
Even at 30. It was a grim reminder that escaping a nightmare doesn't always mean it's over. Today, Jordan Turpin, that brave girl who escaped and called 911, has become a symbol of courage and survival. She's spoken publicly about her life, her healing, and her desire to help others. In an interview with Diane Sawyer, Jordan said, "I want people to know they can be loving and caring and kind to each other. Life is beautiful, and you deserve to be free." Her words, coming from someone who lived through such unimaginable cruelty, are nothing short of inspiring.
Absolutely.
The Turpin case has forced the public and lawmakers to confront uncomfortable truths about homeschooling, oversight, child welfare systems, and the unseen horrors that can exist behind suburban doors.
Yeah, no doubt.
It reminded us that appearance can be deceiving and that silence, even when things seem off, can enable evil to thrive. In 2024, some of the children demanded compensation from Riverside County Social Services Agency and a private foster agency, alleging they suffered further abuse and neglect. So these children who were chained to their beds for a great majority of their life finally are free, and then the county places them in another position where they are further abused. I hope they were compensated very well.
I do too. I hope that they actually don't have to worry about working a day in their life that they'll be taken care of forever.
Yes.
For what they have been through.
Because I can't imagine.
And it's just terrible.
Those sweet, sweet babies. So, this case, why it matters, the implications, and what kind of happened. So, there was extreme abuse hidden in plain sight. 13 children held in captivity and abused for many years in a suburban home shows how vulnerable children can be when isolated.
Yeah.
Gaps in oversight. The homeschooling and minimal contact with outside systems meant warning signs were missed. But, even in the public school system, warning signs are missed.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The family's isolation allowed the abuse to persist. Child welfare and foster care issues. Even after rescue, the follow-up care and oversight of the children failed in many ways.
I mean, look at what happened to Gabriel Hernandez.
Yeah.
That was in California too, wasn't it?
It was.
Fail.
Although that mama's kind of gotten some just desserts, but that's another case we need to dive into.
Yeah, that was
horrific.
Horrifying. That case will never leave my mind.
No. So, these agencies, I understand they are short-staffed. I understand they have limited resources. But man,
how could you live with yourself after some of these people don't really care? I feel like the ones that work for CPS and stuff.
I think some of them just are doing a job and it's just a routine. But I don't want to
get their hands tied to where they can't do anything to help these kids. And I would not. I don't know how I could sleep at night if I was a CPS worker and I had many cases, whatever, where children were being abused and then they died because I did nothing. I would not be able to live with myself. I'm sorry.
I think some of them, you get to the point, just like with any job, you're burnt out. It's not an excuse.
Yeah.
But when you are burnt out on a job, you don't care. And I understand you have so many resources and you have so much you can do to help.
But baby, we're not talking about serving some McDonald's French fries here.
I know,
we're talking about getting children to safety.
You can only do so much.
Golly.
And I think some of these people know how to manipulate the system. That dad was smart.
Yeah. You
can't tell me he was an engineer. That man was smart.
She was really smart too, apparently.
So you learn how to manipulate things.
I just can't.
The psychological trauma and the long-term support. Survivors will likely need long-term mental health support.
For sure. That's why I think they should be taken care of for the rest of their life. Yes. They should never have to pay one counseling bill. They should never have to pay for one visit to the doctor. Nothing.
Exactly. No, they also have their educational catch up, because they weren't educated.
Yeah. Yep.
And then plus they
didn't even know what medication was.
No, not even like a simple aspirin or Benadryl or...
Like, if I ever had a headache, then they didn't get nothing for a headache. Nothing. I just can't imagine living in that house and being starved. And
they're eating in fast food.
Yeah, you're eating in front of me and I'm hungry.
Yeah.
You're
doing McDonald's.
As a teenager, I'm going to think you're a piece of shit mom.
Yeah.
And a piece of shit dad. First of all.
Exactly. You don't get to sit there and eat if
no wonder they snuck
food. Yeah.
No wonder they snuck it.
But that's such a common thing as parents are, and I understand some kids, they lock up like the pantry and stuff because they're overeating or there's something going on, but
kids always do that though. They think they're starving,
but they're not.
And they're not. But
you can't withhold
No, you can't.
food
You
and
have to
water.
let them eat, but in moderation.
Yeah.
You can't let them eat the whole box of cereal just because you just got it. And
And that's what
but
they want.
That's what they do when they're hungry. They think, I gotta eat this now or I'm never gonna get any.
Yeah, because if you think when they're 4 and all they want is chicken nuggets and macaroni and cheese, baby, you need to try these vegetables too, or this rib, or this, you need to try something a little different. And then, yes, if that's what you'll sit and eat, then yes. But you don't sit there and withhold food from somebody.
No.
You don't even do that to grown adults. And that 29-year-old was 82 pounds.
Obviously not eating.
Yeah.
I have infants that weigh more than that.
Sweet babies. Because, they're also going to need help to transition, if I can speak, into learning how to be human and being an adult.
Mm-hmm. What about driving or managing your money?
What about just learning how to grocery shop?
Yeah.
Normal things that we take for granted, they're going to have to learn how to do.
Can you imagine just never being outside?
No.
I mean,
don't
I
even like to go outside.
I know. I like being at home, but when I was a teenager,
I
was outside.
Yeah, growing up, but I grew up in the 80s, 90s, and you left at dawn and you stayed out until the lights came on.
Yeah.
There's also societal responsibility. The neighbors, social services, medical professionals, they all play a role in safeguarding vulnerable children. So that case, it raises questions about collective vigilance. So the neighbors, they noticed that something was off with the kids. They noticed they never saw them. They noticed they were pale, thin, but nobody thought to report anything.
Probably only saw them for like
Quick.
2 minutes.
They...
And then you're like, did I really just see what I think I saw?
Yeah.
Type of thing,
Type of thing. You just kind of like a quick glance.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it be suspicious? There's 15 people living in this house, and the only ones coming and going is the parents.
But I'm the nosy neighbor. I'll be over at your house knocking on the door and be like, trying to look over your shoulder like, hey.
What's going on?
What y'all got? How y'all doing? Trying to get to know my neighbors.
Yeah. To this day, the parents, they remain incarcerated, as they should. The surviving siblings, they're now adults, at least some of them, and they're working to rebuild their lives. There's external supporters and media coverage continue to monitor how they are doing and how social systems respond. And legislation and oversight of homeschooling and dependent adult protections have been discussed in the wake of this case.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another one, that APS, Adult Protective Service, they can be kind of a joke. No offense to anybody that works for them, but my personal dealings with them have been a pain.
Yeah.
So the Turpin family case is a stark reminder of how unchecked parental authority, isolation, and lack of oversight can lead to catastrophic abuse.
Definitely was what this was. It's catastrophic.
Catastrophic. These 13 children endured unimaginable suffering, and while rescues saved them physically, their long-term recovery and the adequacy of the systems meant to protect them remain ongoing challenges. Because I'll be honest, the mental health studies and cases and resources in the U.S., they suck.
Yeah.
They're not great.
Yeah. Seems like you got to do something really bad to even get any help.
Exactly. And even then, our prisoners get a little bit more, and not all of them, but I know our prisoners get at least 3 meals a day and they have a roof over their head.
3 hots and a cot.
Yep. So it is a case that forces reflection on societal structures, child welfare protocols, and our collective responsibility to vulnerable individuals.
Which is the children
and our
elderly people.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, y'all.
Sigh.
Breathe it out. This case, and there's so many of them,
way too many of these types of cases.
Too many of extreme child abuse, and there's probably more out there that we don't know about, that we've never known about, because nowadays with cell phones being about and social media, more things are being put out there and you can see more, and everyone's recording everything. But
That's as soon as anything happens, people bring out their phones, because what do they say? If there's no video, it didn't happen.
It didn't happen, exactly. So you want, everything's being recorded. But if you think about, I was born in 82. There was nothing back then,
We still only had payphones.
Yeah. And if y'all don't know what that is, it was a separate phone that was outside. You actually had to go through and put money in it and dial it.
Yeah, you had to actually have a quarter on you. Or 10 cents.
Or 10 cents.
Or
you
nickels.
dialed collect really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
That's how we used to call our parents.
Call collect really quick. Hey, Mom, I'm ready to be picked up at the skating rink. Come get me.
Yeah, don't accept this. Just come get me.
Just come get me. Oh, simple days.
Yep. The good old days.
The good old days. All right, y'all. I want to let you know that Thanksgiving is coming up. So I want to wish a happy Thanksgiving to everybody that celebrates.
Yep, happy Thanksgiving.
We will be taking a week off from this. But we will be back the following week with a new episode for you, okay? To see all of our source material, please consult the show notes. If you don't mind, please leave us a review.
5 stars, if you will.
And let us know how we are doing. Don't forget to click that subscribe, follow button, and catch us on our social medias at Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok at Bell of Humanity Podcast. Also, if you have any questions, you want to provide feedback, or have a case suggestion, please send us an email at bellofhumanity@gmail.com. Okay, Bronx, tell the people we will see them again next week.
Ooh.